For the first time in the new year, we are back talking Super Bowl, Texas hoops, and even a little hockey up next on College Crossfire.
Where the hell's the rest of it?
Where's the rest of it? Taylor's not even here to defend himself.
I'm so excited.
Only live sports show right here on the 40 Acres. I'm your host, Reese Miller. Glad to have you with us. And the first panel of our new spring semester features some terrific competitors. We got two new freshmen on the show today. We've got Emily Stone. Emily, welcome to College Crossfire, to TSTV. We understand you're from the same high school as Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
So basically sports royalty on the show today.
So not really, but I guess.
No? So not quite the same arm as either of those two guys?
Not even close.
Okay, that's all right. Eric Goodman, we know, is also from the same high school as Tim Tebow. Lefty arm. Maybe
I'm absolutely a righty.
Absolutely a righty.
And these guys are making me feel old, even though I'm the exact same age as them. I'm the veteran.
Yeah, you are the veteran of the show today.
vet.
Kind of weird to say, but
A little bit.
all freshman cast. And last but certainly not least, Jonathan Polasek. Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Reese. How are you doing?
Good. Any superstars from your high school?
Well, we had Craig Biggio. He was the head coach of our baseball
He's not
program
bad.
for 3-4 years.
Okay,
so he's all right.
Definitely solid high school all across the board. You picked a pretty solid college as well. Let's get into it. This is College Crossfire. The momentum for Texas hoops may be slowed slightly after Buddy Hield showed why he was the best player in the country after draining a buzzer-beating 3 to drown the Horns in Norman, Oklahoma. But the number 24 Longhorns still have won 7 of the last 9 games and are still 4-2 against ranked opponents. The Longhorns are only 1 game back for a 3-way tie in first place in the Big 12. Guys, the question is, does Texas have what it takes to actually win the Big 12 in what's maybe the most competitive division in all of college basketball? Emily, we'll start with you.
Honestly, I don't think that they have what it takes to win the Big 12. I think they have what it takes to go far into the championship. But honestly, OU's team has great depth. They have great defense, and I think that going into that final game, it could come down to who has the ball in the last 10 seconds.
Okay, so Texas still has actually 3 ranked opponents in their next 3 games. So you saying they have a chance maybe in the NCAA tournament to go several rounds deep, but not quite able to beat out Kansas, OU, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Eric, what say you? The Horns have a chance at bringing the title back to Austin.
Now, the Horns are a much more improved team from last year. And nationally, they're a really quality team. They have no chance of winning this conference. And that just speaks to how strong the conference is top to bottom. 60% right now. Obviously, it's going to change because Texas is probably almost definitely going to lose their ranking. But as of right now, 60% of the Big 12 is ranked in the top 25, and that's unheard of. And Texas will be basically a lock to make it into a first-round bye into the Big 12 tournament. And then they'll be favored in 1 game, and then after that, they're going to have to upset every team they face from there on to win the tournament. I don't see that happening. I see a few losses left in the regular season, which actually, come tournament time, I think they'll be seeded at a seed that reflects a much worse position than they are as a team, which could lead to quite a few upsets in their road to possibly a Sweet 16, maybe even an Elite 8 berth.
That's asking a lot right now. 6 teams in the Big 12 are a game and a half back of that first place. Jonathan, we've got 2 no's. What say you?
I got to say, they're both wrong. Texas does stand a chance.
Oh, there we go.
Kansas, it's time for you to step aside. Shaka Smart's got these Horns playing with confidence. They're playing hard. They're playing tough. We've seen that the Longhorns, they can compete with Oklahoma. They can compete with Kansas. Heartbreaker of a loss at Oklahoma, but they've also shown that they can beat every other team in this conference. They can and they will bring the trophy back to Austin.
Wow. So you think they win the Big 12 tournament, or you think they can get it done in the regular season?
I think they have a better shot in the regular season. They're only a game back of Kansas and OU and West Virginia even. Mm-hmm. So I think they bring it back this year. Okay,
you mentioned that they competed, haven't beaten Kansas or OU yet, but certainly have a shot. I'm going to give Jonathan the point. He came in pretty strong there. Lots of confidence in the Texas Horns. It's good to start on a positive note. So, Jonathan, your first question, your first point. Not a bad start. We'll get into question 2 after losing 2 of their first 3 games after big man Cam Ridley went down with that foot injury in late December. Prince Ebay has filled that void and the Longhorns are rolling. Shaq Clare has had a helping hand as well. But looking forward to March, are you guys confident that Texas can win big games down the stretch? And really, can Prince Ebay keep up this current performance if Cam doesn't get back healthy? Some predicting he might be back for the NCAA tournament. But either way, Prince is going to have a pivotal role on the squad as their big man. Eric?
Not only do I think Prince is going to continue to do a great job filling Cam's shoes, if they were both healthy, I'm picking Prince for this system over Cam.
Really?
And to his credit, Cam Ridley played a terrific few games in the season when he was healthy. But in this system where Havoc and the press defense is slowly being integrated into this team, you need somebody who's going to protect the rim and take on a 2-on-1 by himself. And there's no one in the entire Big 12 better at that than Prince Ebay. He's a defensive stud. He's been a revelation in these last few games from the free throw line, where he had been it had been a barren wasteland for him. He's back. He's must have fixed his shot. He's hitting. Hacking eBay is not a viable strategy anymore for an opposing team. So I think he's made incredible strides this season, and he's definitely proved himself to be the starting center on this team.
Wow, starting even if Cam Ridley were healthy. Certainly a bold move for a guy who was averaging a double-double when he went out in Cam Ridley.
I tell you what, having them both healthy is a terrific problem to have, to choose who's going to start, who's going to come off the bench and contribute. All
right, Jonathan, what do you think? Can Prince keep this up, and would he even be the starter if Cam came back?
Well, first I got to ask, is this even the real Prince Ebay? Like, I think somebody's got to have gotten his face, something like that, but this is not the real Prince Ebay, but he is playing phenomenal. He is definitely filled in for Cam Ridley, and I think that he is going to continue this. I think if Cam Ridley was healthy, I think Cam Ridley would start, but Prince Ebay has filled in admirably.
Okay, you think he can keep this up and keep up really almost double-double performance?
I have no doubt that he can keep this up, 100%.
Who's the real Prince Ebay? That's what I want to know.
The one missing free throws left and right. That's the real Prince Ebay.
I think the one that was hitting about 20% of his free throws before the last 3 or 4 games.
I'm glad he's gone.
Yeah, Emily, what do you think?
I'm feeling really negative, like towards I guess UT basketball, but I'm gonna go with no.
Ouch.
I honestly think Cam averaged over 12 points per game in his first 10 games, and Prince only averaged 1.1 point per game. In his first 10 games, I mean, yeah, he's doing great now, but I feel like the pressure might get to his head. He's going to maybe crack a little bit. But, I mean, his past 5 games, he's done well, but the games before that also matter. And so I'm going to go with no. And I feel terrible but, I'm just going to go.
You're going to go with no, and I'm going to go giving you the points. I think Cam Ridley was the best player on this team before he went out, averaging a double-double. I thought he was a terrific post presence, working his way to maybe the best center in the conference, having a terrific senior year. Prince Ebay still turns the ball over, still has not many post moves, so Emily, you're getting the points here as we move on. It may be the offseason, but we're still squeezing in some Longhorn football 1 week removed from National Signing Day. Texas closed tremendously, rising to the 10th ranked signing day class on ESPN, but which one of these 22 signees will have the most immediate impact on the field next year? And just what do you think Texas is as a whole right now as a football team as we sort of go into the off-season talk? Jonathan?
Well, I think they're a much better football team now than they were last year. The additions this year were amazing. But I think one guy who can really step in and play well and play early is Jordan Elliott. With Hassan Ridgeway going to the NFL, the Longhorns only have Poona Ford and Paul Boyette as the viable options at defensive tackle. And even then, even with Hassan Ridgeway healthy, they were still terrible against the rush. So I think Jordan Elliott will come in, he'll be able to get off the snap quickly and be able to wreak havoc in the backfield.
Sure, one of the All-Americans, he and Eric Fowler playing really well together. And as you mentioned, a chance where Texas added 4 defensive tackles, a position they really had to hit a home run on.
If I'm going to pick somebody, I'm going to go with Shane Buechele.
Okay.
I mean, the quarterback situation at Texas has been shaky for the past 2 years. We have Swoops and Hurd and then 2 rising sophomores, Loxley and Merrick. But I think Shane can come in and bring some leadership to the team, and that's kind of what Texas has been lacking. They've been lacking leadership and a strong role to really push the team to where they need to be in order to make a bowl game.
Boy, so you think Shane starts game 1?
Maybe not game 1, but maybe game 2.
Okay.
But I see him really making an impact and doing well this upcoming season. And
okay, so who's your current day starter right now?
Loxley. I'm going to go with Loxley.
Loxley, okay. No Gerard, no Swoops. You're ready to...
I'm going to go with Loxley. I mean, he's done really well in the spring. I've just, I feel like he's going to come in and really going to be a powerhouse.
Okay. I tell you what, I like the freshman class here. You guys are bringing some hot opinions. Eric, what say you?
Yeah, I'm not touching the quarterback situation. It's too much uncertainty.
We don't have enough time to touch the quarterback
No, we do
situation. This is a
not.
30-minute show.
Emily's right, though. This team does need leadership. And while you wouldn't expect it to come from the freshman class, I think a guy who can, especially down the road, move into that role is a man. I know you're high on him, the Shark, Jeffrey McCulloch. This is a guy recruited by Stanford, recruited by Notre Dame, gave a really inspiring signing speech when he signed. Really intelligent guy, and I think next to Malik Jefferson in that linebacker core is going to be ferocious for offense to face, and I think he can really be a vocal leader on this team down the road.
Boy, I'll tell you what. All three of you had great answers, so all three of you getting the point. I think all three of those players play at some point next season and possibly make a big impact. So you're all getting the point. We'll end on a positive note in round one. And coming up, Peyton's Brews, the dab is done, and the Golden Hoops bandwagon keeps on growing. We'll be right back. Thanks for keeping it here as we roll on College Crossfire. Let's take a glance at our scoreboard and see who leads the pack. Right now we've got two freshmen on either side with Emily and Jonathan. Eric in the middle has 1 point. Two kids on the sides have 2, but you guys are doing a great job so far on your first time. Eric, the actual veteran today, guys. This past sheriff, a veteran known as the Sheriff, has as many rings as his brother, and Peyton can ride off into the sunset, or will he? Denver down Cam and Carolina 24-10. Tons of storylines galore, from the defense to Cam's comments to possibly the end of an era. But what was your biggest takeaway from Super Bowl 50? Emily, we'll start with you.
I think my biggest takeaway was Cam Newton. He went in really confident. I mean, wearing gold shoes before the game. He walked in with this very cocky
MVP.
attitude and thinking, he was going to get MVP and was going to get that ring this year. But the Broncos defense really rattled him. He got really confused, I feel like, after the first half, I feel like he just kind of was like, oh no, this isn't a good thing. But honestly, my takeaway was just how cocky he went in, and just him leaving his press conference at the end. I was very just wow. But I don't know. It was a great game. Loved every minute of it. It was always exciting. So.
Okay. I don't agree with you on the great game part, but I do agree with you,
Thank you.
on the Cam's comments. But that's all right, Eric. We can move along.
It was a horrible game. One of the worst Super Bowls I've ever been old enough to watch. It was. I think on that particular night, half the league could have gone on the field and beat either of those teams. I think they were that bad. And something to be said for both defenses, especially Denver's. Von Miller, for sure MVP.
Right.
Really the only guy who had a really special game that matches the stage that they were all playing on. Peyton, even though it's really shocking to hear this, maybe one of the worst quarterbacks to ever win a Super Bowl, just by his quality of performance in that game and in the games prior.
I agree with that.
But absolutely happy for him to see him go off, even though I'm a diehard Giants fan and he has now the same amount of rings as Eli. No more bragging rights for Eli at the table, but that's all right. Perhaps more on the way for the younger Manning.
Highly doubtful. Highly doubtful, I would say.
Well, we shall see.
Yeah, highly doubtful. And with that, we'll move on to Jonathan.
Well, Reese, you know the old saying, defense wins championships, and both teams played championship-worthy defense. But there's one player that stands out, and it was Von Miller by far. One-man wrecking crew, 2.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, both led to points for the Broncos. And honestly, if Denver does not lock him up long-term, they could risk their chance at winning multiple titles. I think they have the start of a dynasty if they can just find another quarterback who can simply manage the game like Peyton did and Brock Osweiler did this entire year.
So you think Brock is the guy, or they need to find somebody else?
I think Brock can manage if the defense plays as well as it did this year.
Okay. I like, even though Eric went off on the Eli tangent, I think he's still getting the points, guys. Just what a horrible game. And Denver actually, statistically, the lowest number of yards for any team that has ever won a Super Bowl, ever. You've got 50 of them, and they were still lucky enough to win, or good enough defensively. Guys, we're just about at the All-Star break in the association. And yes, the Golden State Warriors and all of their fans for the last year and a half are celebrating their 47-4 record that leads the world right now after the break ends. Who do you think, if anyone, has a shot at making a run at Golden State, or even a team that can get hot and give us a surprise here in this second half and maybe a little second half push? Eric, we'll start with you.
Reese, remind me how many losses they have?
4.
Okay, remind me how many losses it takes to be eliminated in the playoffs?
I believe 4.
Yeah, okay. They've played 51 games. They've lost 4 times. No one has a chance at them. It's really been exciting to watch, but this season is so theirs in every way. If there's any, team or if there's anything in that could derail them, it's, the injury gods. Somebody could,
Right.
one of the Splash Brothers, Draymond Green. If one of them, sustains a serious injury, then maybe you have a team like Cleveland or San Antonio or Oklahoma City that can come and, give them a run in the playoffs. But this regular season might as well be in the same way as Kobe's just going on a victory tour. That seems to be what Oklahoma City is doing, just going to your city, beating you, signing autographs and saying bye.
Sure. Do you think they beat the Bulls record, 96?
Yeah,
72-10.
I mean, they're way on pace for it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and I think part of that is because there's just no other dominant team that's going to give them a couple losses.
Okay, Jonathan, what do you think about Golden State's chances?
Let's just say nobody's going to catch Golden State, but there's one team who could make a run and could potentially maybe push Golden State a little bit. And no, it's not the Spurs because Popovich, he's going to rest everybody, every single game for the rest of the season. That's just what he does. Oklahoma City, they're the only contending team to not get completely obliterated by Golden State. They actually have the scoring punch to keep up with Golden State and Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. And I think they can get hot at any point and make it somewhat a competitive series if they were to meet in the playoffs.
Okay, Emily, what do you think? Oh, first off, go ahead and show us your socks.
Yeah, so
Show us your socks.
the
and then answer
bandwagon for a
question.
year and a half. I've been on the bandwagon for 5 years, and so yes, I'm wearing Steph Curry socks because he's the best, and Golden State's the best, and honestly, nobody's going to catch him. They have 3 guys going to the All-Stars. I think that's just even going to fuel their fire more heading into the postseason. But, yeah, I mean, Steph Curry just got voted the best worst ankles in the NBA. So I feel like even if the injury gods did come in, he would play through it just in order to keep that record. And, honestly, if there was a team, I do think it would be the Spurs. But if they were going to catch, they don't shoot enough threes. They don't try to shoot threes. And, I mean, Tim Duncan's been out the past 8 games, came back tonight for his first one. And they had another injury tonight, taking another player out. So I don't think that anybody's going to come in and catch the Golden State Warriors.
I would have thought it might have been the Spurs, and then I watched the game a couple weeks ago, and even their defense couldn't stop them.
120-90 was such a good game.
Oh, unbelievable.
so
Unbelievable. Jonathan,
game.
I like the Oklahoma City Thunder
Best
pick. It's a
game.
little underrated. Maybe in a 7-game series, if they get really hot, you never know. So you're getting the 2 points as we move, or the 1 point, as we move on. We're not rapid fire yet. Time for some stick and puck action as we go to the Frozen Pond in Chicago, where tomorrow night the Blackhawks will host the Dallas Stars for their second meeting in the last week. The Stars lost 5-1 last Saturday night and remain 3 points back in the standings for best in the Western Conference. Guys, what does Dallas have to do tomorrow to come out on top, and how do you foresee the Stars' chances down the road in really a packed Western Conference? Jonathan, we'll start with you.
I think there's one thing that you have in common, not only with this game, but with the game on December 22nd. The team who scores first is going to win. And both of them were blowouts. It wasn't even close. The Stars, they just got hammered early on in this game. They first 30 seconds, they were already down 1-0 and down 2-1 by the end of the first period, I think. So they need to come out. They need to start fast. They need to really take it to the Blackhawks. And they really need to capitalize on their power play chances. I mean, 0 for 6 against a really good defensive team in the Blackhawks, that's just not going to cut it. So they need to come out, start fast, start strong, and they should probably try and stop Patrick Kane. I mean, just a
yeah, that'd be a good idea since he's leading the world in points in the NHL. Jamie Benn second though. Emily, what do you think?
I honestly think the Stars, one, need to work on winning their face-offs because they didn't win very many last time. They also need to add depth to their defense, and also they need to add a strong back behind the first line. Because without that, there's no chance. But, I mean, yes, the big thing is their defense. Their defense was terrible. I mean, 5 goals, that's a lot of goals in hockey. And, I mean, they play tomorrow. I think also they shouldn't play some of their players as they haven't had great records. But, yeah, I think the big thing, though, is adding a strong back on the first line.
Excellent.
With Ben and Sigwin. So, yeah.
So call up Jim Nill, see if he can make some moves to the Stars.
If I had his number, I'd do it.
Okay.
I'd definitely do it.
Well, that's your off-season project. If you
Right.
come or don't come back next week, Eric, what do you think?
Aside from just taking the Blackhawks players, Jonathan's absolutely right about the power play. He mentioned they were 0 for 6 in that game. Not only that, they give up 2 goals on 2 power plays, 2 shorthanded goals. That's inexcusable. You can't win when your team is down a man and you're conceding goals. it's bad enough to not score in 6 chances, but if you go down, not only is that obviously a point on the scoreboard, but that's just demoralizing for your team to give up 2 shorthanded goals in the same game. If they can shore up that power play, they have the players and they have the talent to absolutely give Chicago a run, but it's just a matter of executing that.
You guys see any chance for Stars maybe bringing the Cup back to Dallas, or are they still a little bit away?
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
I would personally love it. But anyways, I think Emily's getting the point here. They need another defenseman. Maybe we need to figure out the goalie situation as well. No one brought up that, but that's all right. I think defenseman, another forward maybe on that second or third line. We're going to rapid fire next. That'll do it for round 2. Don't go anywhere. It gets lit up next on College Crossfire. Welcome back to College Crossfire, where it is time to light up the first rapid fire in 2016. Before we get the torches, let's check the standings. We have the 2 young fish on the outside with 3 points repping the tray up top. We've got Deuces in the middle with Eric Goodman. But guys, it's rapid fire. Anything can happen. Just so you guys know how this works, points are now doubled from 1 point to 2. I'll throw out a question, and you guys just jump in. Best answer, funniest answer, up to my judgment, wins. So let's go ahead and get into it. For this question, we are going to go ahead and need some markers and maybe some paper as well. The ultimate prize for winning the Lombardi and for most trophies is the search for a ring. Here's an example of a former Super Bowl ring, guys. Now, your example is to design a ring. It will be the team of your choice. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute to design. We're going to pass out some markers and paper as well. And the best design will win. So I'm going to keep some markers here for myself, and you guys go down the row there.
All right.
And we'll give you about 1 minute here. You get to design your own ring. Pretty much for whatever sport you guys want.
Right, right.
So I'm assuming we have a Golden State. We have probably a New York Giants. And Jonathan, who's yours going to be?
You know what? No, I'm gonna.
Let's go Astros.
Astros.
You're right about the Giants. Maybe not in the rest of Eli's career. I'm gonna go a little Mets action.
I'm actually going to surprise you. I'm not telling you.
Okay.
It'll be a big surprise.
I'm pretty pumped for the surprise. Again, we're journalism students, not artists, so this should be interesting.
Is it bad that I failed art class my freshman year?
Definitely not good. Definitely not a good thing, but we'll let it slide.
Jonathan, you want to go ahead and pass me a green? It would really help me out right over here.
I don't know why I should help you, but okay.
No, you're a gentleman and a scholar.
Whatever you say, Eric.
All right, time's up.
Ah.
Time's up. See what you guys have. I'll show mine. I'll show mine first. I'll display mine to the crowd. So mine is a Dallas Stars ring right here. It is Jamie Benz because he is the captain, number 14. And if you don't want that ring,
That's a pretty cool ring.
I don't know what to tell you.
Just
It's
had
got
to
like
say it.
up. I don't even. It's not grass. It looks like grass, but it's not grass. It's like some kind
I like the
of green
three
metal right
dimensions.
there. But yeah, of course, the rings are 3-dimensional. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Let's move it along. See what you guys have.
Well, I just did the face of my ring, but
Okay, Dallas, I like it. Okay, not super creative with the design, but love the
Finally.
team.
you
That's
want
fine.
it to be simple because
Simple.
simplicity is key.
Simple and classy. Eric, what do you have?
No, you know what a Cowboys ring would be. It'd be Jerry Jones' face and
That
nothing
is a good
else.
point.
That
but,
would
like,
that would be
That
pretty
is
good.
true.
Eric,
I
what do you
know
have?
what
All right.
it looks like.
So, best part of Mets tradition is the apple that comes
apple.
up in a home run. I got it there in all its
That's pretty
glory.
good.
I meant to put a little NY logo, but like better people can draw that than me. And then around the rim it says, "You know what we did," because you know what we did.
Not a big fan of the catchphrase,
Okay,
but
that's
the
fine.
apple's there.
That's
Jonathan,
fine.
what do we have down there with the Stros?
For me, it's got to be, we go back to probably with the design of the star, the last time that the Astros made the playoffs, not including this past season. So we
Yeah.
go back to the old star logo, the H-Town, the colors.
The retro.
Retro.
All right, retro H-Town gets the victory. Love the apple. Not enough design on yours, but I love the retro, and we're going to keep things moving on here. Jonathan gets it 2 points. Texas baseball gets underway next week, so it's time for a round of Name That Player. We will put a player on the screen on the current Texas baseball roster, and your job is to name him. You will get 1 point for every player named, and the first one is on the screen over there.
This is not going to go well.
Zangerwitz.
This is not going to go well for me.
Zane Gerwitz. Okay,
Wow.
excellent.
Okay.
There,
All right.
There's 1 point already.
Oh, boy.
Let's go ahead and show up the second one over there.
Oh, that is Michael Cantu.
There's 2.
Okay.
There's 2 points.
Wow.
Jonathan is on
What
a
a-
roll.
what a
Obviously,
stud.
the baseball guy. Jonathan, in pre-show predictions, we thought you might do well at this. Let's go ahead and those are pretty easy ones though. We'll keep it moving here. If anyone gets this one, you're moving along
Oh,
pretty well here. It's a pitcher.
Josh Sawyer.
No, incorrect. Any
Don't-
guesses?
Don't look at me.
I'm gonna.
No idea. All right.
No
let's-
idea.
What?
Okay.
Morgan Cooper.
Nice. Came back and nailed it.
No.
Came back and nailed it. All right, let's show one more. One more. Also a pitcher.
Casey Clemens.
No. I should have said you get negative points if you got it wrong, but we didn't say that. Left-handed pitcher. Anybody?
Travis Duke.
Josh Sawyer. You had, I know, you had it with the first one, but that's all right. You got several points and a huge lead going into our final question. Really quick, while this year might have been a slight letdown in terms of on-field play and commercials for the Super Bowl, it still has a reputation for a reason. You can get 2 points if you name the most memorable commercial of all time. Acting it out may or may not help you along the way. So,
I mean,
most memorable Super Bowl in your guys' memories.
there's that Budweiser one of the streaking goat. I don't think you want me to.
The streaking goat? No, I definitely do
No.
not want the
No.
streaking goat on camera.
The
No.
Doritos one with the guy going like this and like this, and
Okay.
then the mom takes it and throws it, and it's just, and then the baby comes out. I was
No.
very.
That was pretty
wow.
odd. I'll say that was the best
No,
one this
no.
year. All time though?
The one, it's the Budweiser commercial with the dog, and the guy leaves, and he doesn't come home, and the
That's
dog's just
pretty
sitting
awesome.
there, and it's like, I bet every girl everywhere was crying. I know I was, and then he comes home, he's like, oh, I didn't want to drive home. I'm like, boom, you just nailed it.
That's pretty awesome. Eric showing the Obi-Wan Kenobi. Jonathan, favorite
he
commercial
is.
ever?
My favorite commercial ever, it would have to be, maybe not necessarily my favorite, most memorable would be the puppy monkey baby one. It's just because of how weird it is. Like, for Mountain Dew, what? It's just in your face, and then it comes up to the person and licks them in the face. It's like,
Well-
I don't understand entirely what's going on, but that's something that I will never get out of my mind.
The new Mountain Dew is a combination of 3 awesome things and then like 3 awesome things: pug, monkey, baby. Boom.
Yeah, but should that ever
I'm
go
gonna
together?
say no.
Wait.
No.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wait.
Almost earned points. We got to go here. Emily, the Budweiser commercial, you get the 2 points for that, but Jonathan dominated the baseball question. Jonathan getting the win on his first time on the show. Jonathan, no time for FaceTime today. So that is going to do it for show 1 in 2016. Follow us on Twitter at CollegeXFire and watch us every week live at 9. Keep up with the latest Longhorn sports news with College Press Box Mondays at 9:30. They are on Twitter as well at College Press Box. Jonathan Polasek is your winner in his first time, and he'll be back next week. Thanks to everyone in studio, Master Control, and a special thanks to you for spending your Wednesday night with us. Until next time, I'm Reese Miller. Have an awesome night.
Hey, kid, catch.